TC Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be getting into patience. Okay, so we are getting into the 9 fruits of the Spirit. I'm going to get into each one of these. So in this video, we are speaking on patience, okay? Now, patience looks different based on the individual's perspective and perception. Your perception is how you perceive things, okay? So the way that you believe it to be, okay? So that is what perception is. Everyone has different perceptions. Some people are more aligned, some people are less aligned in their perceptions and their perspectives, okay? Your perspectives shape your perception, all right? That's a very important part. And I would even say somewhat your perception shapes your perspective on things too. They are intertwined. Now let's jump into this, okay? For instance, there are different perspectives and perceptions on patience, just like this. Some people believe that it could potentially be like the willingness to be still, okay? And any of these perceptions and perspectives are not necessarily wrong or necessarily right, but I want you to really start to see the patience, okay? We're getting into the 9 fruits of the Spirit. Patience can potentially be seen as the willingness to be still, the willingness to think or meditate beforehand on what you're going to do. So you have these different choices and to be patient and then ultimately choose specific things before you enter into those experiences or environments. Okay, so this is what I wrote. To meditate on the action beforehand, it doesn't necessarily have to be waiting. It doesn't necessarily have to be waiting. So a lot of people think that patience is just waiting. Like, oh, waiting for this to happen, and the reason why I'm speaking on this, the reason why I'm speaking on this subject so passionately is I have been patient, okay, for the last like year to year and a half, okay, and this has come from business, this has come from a multitude of things, and if I didn't cultivate the virtue of patience at all, then I wouldn't be where I'm at because I would have been like, oh, I'll just give up. I'll give up because of this type of thing, of this type of thing, of this mishap, of this speed bump, of this company, and blame and see the whole thing about being a victor, being in the victor mindset generally tends to be more patient. And patience is also connected to stoicism. Stoicism, meaning that you experience different things, but it's how you shape your perception about those things before you decide to, go into those paradigms. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay, so sometimes patience is cultivating. It's not about waiting. It's not just waiting, at least, okay? But sometimes it's just being more harmonious with the flows of life rather than being chaotic in and trying to control life, okay? Trying to be more controlling and manipulative of life, okay? And that becomes more patient, okay? So you become more patient as you are more in the harmonious flow of life rather than always trying to continuously or constantly manipulate it. And why? Because patience comes from the flow of life, okay? It comes from harmony. It's less chaotic. It's less anxious, okay? The more patient you are, the less anxious you are. Patience is stoicism and restraint of vices. Okay, so a lot of people think that restraining vices is like not biblical. Like it's to be sober-minded. That's ultimately what restraining vices is. So you have all these different egoic vices that will pop up. This is what I want. This is what I like. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what you feel like you need or feel like you want. And the whole thing about this is that patience and stoicism are definitely interconnected in these types of experiences and environments. As you start to really cultivate the restraint of vices, you start to live more of a patient life because most people are what? Living that chaotic life. And you tend to be what? More still. I literally said that patience is the willingness to be still. The willingness to be still. Okay, that's why it's a fruit of the Spirit. Okay, and fruit meaning the produce. Produce meaning production. Production of what? The tree. He or she is like a tree. And we are recognized by our fruits or our produce and what we produce, our production. And that does not necessarily mean being a workhorse. It means by who we are, who we actually are, how we emit. Okay? A lot of times So it's actually your willingness to persevere. So, in addition, number 2, patience of ego. Number 2 is patience of ego, meaning that you'll have all these different fleshly things pop up. It's very connected to restraint of vices. But I want you to really see that patience of ego, meaning that you can observe your ego. You can start to see all of the negative aspects of you and still be patient with that being as it continuously grows into a better ego. We have levels of ego. We have to comprehend this. Because ego is not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when, look, there's no bad student. There's only a bad master. Okay? And the observer is the master, and the servant is the flesh. The spirit is the master. The flesh is the servant. Okay? And we have to start to realize it's just like money is not a good master. Money is a good servant. Energy is a good master. Okay? The energy that goes into the money, the intention that goes into it, the mindset that goes into it, the energy that is cultivated, the time that is cultivated, that is the value. Okay? So, in addition, patience of ego, being patient of your growth. That is a big thing too, is like a lot of people want the outcome, which I'm going to get into. A lot of people want the destination, but they fail to realize, we've already talked about this in this YouTube channel, that the journey is the destination. Your journal is your journey. That's what a daily journal is. It's a daily journey, right? So you start to see what? Your journaling journey. You start to see literally they're the same prefix, same etymology. And so the interconnection between you on your hero's journey, because you are the hero's journey. You are the 22 paths of Kabbalah, which is the DNA. You have DNA. You are interconnected with the Sephirah, the Kabbalah, okay? The 22 paths, the 22 letters of Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew. You're also interconnected with the 22 paths of Reiki, okay? Reiki is energy, okay? Now let's keep going. You're also interconnected with, it's downloading too. You're connected with the 22 paths of the hero's journey. The hero's journey has each different types of paths, okay? There's so much knowledge on this type of stuff. But as you start to realize, okay, these are different levels, these are different experiences that I'm going through, that's how you evolve. So your willingness to persevere through something until desired outcome is reached is patience. Okay, that is patience. That's what true patience is. A lot of people want the destination, want the outcome, want the money, want the body. But they fail to realize that all the lessons and all the action and all the habits and all the learned lessons and all the assumptions and attractions and the cultivations and everything that goes into that, they fail to realize that they are becoming somebody. They just want to be somebody, which means that they want something outside of themselves. There's a difference between someone who's on the journey. There's someone who knows the path and is walking the path. Like Morpheus said, okay? There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, okay? You will soon realize there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, okay? Now, one big thing too, it could be more parasympathetic and relaxed rather than anxious and sympathetic. We're speaking in the nervous system aspect of this, the nervous system aspect of patience, okay? So what does this mean? What does this mean, okay? This means that slowing down implies more patience. So a lot of us in this instant gratification era, we want to speed up things. And we actually, I know this sounds crazy, but don't think of time as a real thing. Meaning that if you slow down, okay, this will blow your mind. If you slow down, you can actually get into more alignment and get it faster if you slow down. Okay, but a lot of us think, okay, we feel like we know, or we think that we know, that if we hurry up or put more hard work in or keep going faster, that we will get it faster. Okay, but there's the implication of things, meaning, oh, if I slow down, I'll let it catch up to me. I'll let it come to me. I'll let it attract to me. I am the being that allows it to be experienced. Okay, I don't have to go and seek an experience. I don't have to go and seek an external environment or reality. I am the experiential being, meaning I'm the being that has the experience. Okay, I don't want to go too spiritual on you guys because I'm going to definitely get into some biblical text in this for you guys. Okay, obviously they're interconnected. For the people who are awake, will see this. They will see this. Okay, so your willingness to persevere through something until the desired income and outcome is reached. So not giving up when you have 10 speed bumps that happen. Okay? It's by standing up 11 times. You fall down 10 times, you stand up 11 times. Okay? Like that is a big thing of patience. Patience is seeing, okay, these are all the lessons learned. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because, you know, I've learned different things in like my business and stuff. And now like I'm having very lucrative months. I'm cultivating continuity. You know, I've made the majority of my teams and my systems, and now I don't have to pay for them. So I've utilized the things that I need to utilize, and now it's mostly just ad spend and marketing, slight sales, couple hours of work a day. It's just different. It's like way different than it was a year ago. And if I didn't push through and be like, well, I'll get to the point where it's just chilling, I had to be patient with myself to catch up to here. I had to be patient to catch up. I had to be patient to speed up. Okay. So I remember this quote, ultimately, guys. A lot of times we pray for patience, or a lot of times we pray, hurry up, you know, or hurry, worry. We're in the hurry and the worry of ourselves, and we hurry and worry ourselves out of it, of patience, ironically, which is in alignment with what I was just saying. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Okay? I remember this quote my mom had framed. I'm pretty sure she still does have it framed, to be honest. And this quote says, God, give me patience, but please hurry. Or God, please give me patience and hurry. And I find that very interesting because it's like we want that. A lot of our lessons, we're always like, oh, hurry, hurry, hurry. We ask for lessons. We ask for these different types of things. But I find it very interesting that the very thing that we might be like asking for or really wanting to assume in our life, we want to be more patient. We want to really do this. We're giving the opportunity to be patient. Okay. Now I'm getting to the point where I've been patient. Okay. And this is why it's more of like an exude, like a lesson, like, hey, be patient wherever you are. Be where you are. Be where you are. Be here now. Don't try to be somewhere in the future. And if you are trying to be somewhere in the future, assume that you are that future being now. That's the slight change in your law of attraction, law of assumption, manifestation. Okay? So if you are trying to always be at that outcome, meditate for 20 minutes as if you are already that being now. Okay? And what has got me talking about this patience today is me being in alignment with patience helping me along my journey, along my hero's journey. And how I've seen different perspectives of like, oh, this is teaching me patience. And not only that, but if you don't cultivate patience or you don't have patience, you'll have very low value things in your life. You'll have low value people, low value business, low value assets or liabilities, because instant gratification is not patient. Instant gratification is being gratified now, which we've already talked about instant gratification. Okay, so instant gratification, indifference to delaying gratification. When you delay gratification, you tend to have a better dopamine spike. You tend to have better rewards, better reassurance, better assurances, better affluence, better influence, better cultivation of your energy, better people around you, more assets, more business, all this type of stuff. When you delay gratification, even just for a little bit, even just a little bit longer. But instant gratification tends to be immediate gratification, which actually prolongs and extends negativity, negative aspects, negative environments, negative experiences, stuff like this. Okay? So I find it very interesting that I could pray for this. I could pray for this mindset. I could pray for this mentality. I could pray for this emotionality. I could pray for this physicality, this spirituality, this financiality, these finances. Okay, I could pray for this mindset, this physical body, and something whatever outside of me I could pray for. or I could beg for, or I could ask for, or I could try to manifest. They're all the same thing. Affirmations is manifestations is prayer. It's the same thing. Don't sleep on yourself. But you have to start to pray as if you already have. Pray as if you already have. Knock, seek, and ye shall find. Meaning that it's not going to not be given to you. But if you're praying as if you're begging, you're going to what? Ask for begging, which means that you're going to continuously be in that state of being. When you pray as if you already have, and you think as if you already have, you're in the state of gratitude. There is a circular auric movement that is connected to this. So I could pray for these different things: mindset, finances, physical body, whatever, in the external materialistic world, okay, or something like that. And usually there's a buffer between the desire and the fulfillment, and that's what patience is. That's what patience is, between the desire and the fulfillment of the desire. And you just have to take the fucking journey. Excuse my language. I'm still working on that's the only thing that I'm really working on. I've cut all my other vices, okay? I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right. The whole thing about this is that take the desire and start to assume that you already have those things. And start to see in your life how you already have those things. How you already have those successes. So you're like, oh, well, I want to be rich. See how you're already rich now. It doesn't even have to be finances. It could be throughout your life. And it could be in like, oh, well, I'm rich in my savings. I save $15. That could be and you have to start to look and reiterate and regurgitate the aspects that you're already rich in. Or that you're already fit in. Or that you're already rare in. You have to see these types of cultivations. Okay. Patience. This is how I re-engineered patience. Okay. So this is number 3. Yeah, number 3. Patience is reverse engineered this way to me. Okay. This is from my perspective. Giving yourself the time to allow something to be able to change and transform and transmute in your life. Okay. Giving yourself the ability and the allowance to allow something to change and transform into your life. That's what patience is. Okay. And it's a multitude. You have to habit stack all of these types of things that I'm telling you. Okay. Giving yourself the time to allow something to change and transform and transmute into your life. Giving yourself the ability to grow day by day rather than just immediately and try to be immediately at the top of the mountain. Okay. Stop trying to be at the top of the mountain. Take the whole fucking journey. Take the whole journey. Okay. Patience is a great expression of spirit. There are many lessons, too many lessons that I can't even really get into all of them today because there's so many lessons on patience. Patience is a lesson in and of itself of patience, okay? But ultimately in the 10-minute video, I can give you a few different expressions of the way that I perceive and my perspective on patience, okay? So number 4, patience is a virtue and patience is a sign on the hero's journey that you are on the right path. If you have to be patient or you are cultivating the virtue of patience, not only are you virtuous and you're expressing the produce of the fruit of the Spirit, but you are given a sign, an expression, hey, check this out. You can only be patient for the things that you must be patient for. Instant gratification, you don't have to be patient for that, okay? But the things that are of high value, okay, instant gratification is very low value. We already know this. Popular versus high value. High value is more patient. So if you have to wait even just a few months, it's going to be significantly more valuable than something that you would wait 2 minutes for. Okay? Patience is a sign. Patience is a virtue and a sign on the hero's journey that you are on the right path. And because usually why? The buffer period from desire to outcome, okay? From desire to fulfill desire outcome. Okay? This is the buffer period that you are on the right path, and buffer periods come with better rewards and awarded assurances within multiple pillars of your life: mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. Okay? Patience is also connected with what? The 5 S's. Stillness. Patience is stillness. Patience is simplicity. Patience is solitude. Patience is silent. Patience is sympathy, which is synonym and empathy. Sympathy, meaning that the same as empathy. You have the same empathy as somebody else, having sympathy on somebody, having compassion for somebody. Okay? Stillness, simplicity, silence, solitude, sympathy. Patience is key. Number 5, patience is key to success. Why is patience key to success? Because if you didn't, Patience is a test. Patience is a test. Because if you are here and you're like, I want to be here, well, you're going to have to take these types of roads. You're going to have to take these types of routes. You're going to have to take these trials, these trails, these tribulations, these types of things, okay? To get here, then you have to ultimately cultivate this path. You have to cultivate these journeys, this type of path, this hero's journey. You have to learn these lessons. Patience is key to success because patience is a locked-in process and linchpin of success. Yes, a linchpin of success. To slowly build success over a few months, a few years, a few decades is an example to the Lord that you are yielding multiple fruits of the Spirit, and in planting the seeds of produce and production within your soul's harvest, within your soul. Okay? Your daily action is the harvest. Your daily habitual action and construction is planting seeds. Your daily habitual action and construction is planting seeds. Okay? Which is right consciousness. What is righteousness? Right consciousness. Living in the right consciousness habitually, all the time. Subconsciously, always living in the right consciousness, the right action, the right concentration, the right focus, the right thought process, the right emotionality, the right physicality, the right spirituality, the right rareness, the right richness. Okay, you're always in the right. You're always focusing on the good. You're always in the assumption of the good. You're always in the best case scenario assumption of the good. I went to the store today and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy whatever. I'm just going to buy the vibes. I'm just going to be here for the vibes. I'm not going to worry about the money, any of it. I closed out at $111.11. 5 ones in a row. And people still be telling me that don't believe in angel numbers. Don't believe in stuff like that. It's like God is literally telling me that everything that I'm in divine alignment. I'm in divine synchronicity. I'm in divine serendipitous synchronicity. Your daily habitual construction and actions is planting seeds. So all of your habits. So habit here, habit here, habit here. Seed here, seed here, seed here, seed, seed, seed. Okay? Watering daily positive habits allows the harvest to bloom and blossom and flower like the flower lotus of life, the flower of life, the lotus of life, which grows amongst what? Muddy waters. Just like it says in biblical text about patience and about the harvest, that we will let the harvest grow amongst weeds. And then at the end, we'll just pick the weeds, throw them into the fire. We'll see which seeds germinate. We'll see which seeds do not germinate. Whose souls blossom and whose souls don't blossom. And we'll allow those souls to blossom regardless if there's souls not blossoming around. Okay? We'll let the flowers grow amongst the weeds. The harvest shall grow even amongst the weeds, and that which is of sacred ground shall blossom and bloom and flower. So this is the same thing with habitual construction action. So you could tell by people's what? Produce, how they live their lives. You could tell by their actions. You could tell by their deeds, how they live their lives. 100%. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the biblical scriptures of this, and then we'll move on to the next module. So let's go real quick. Galatians 5:22 and 23. Patience is one of the fruits of the Holy Spirit. Listen to Galatians 5:22 and 23. So it's a fruit of the Spirit. There's 9 fruits of the Spirit, which is ultimately the series that we're getting into over this spirituality aspect. Okay, Romans 12:12. Okay, rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be patient in tribulation. Be patient in tribulation. Okay. Be constant in prayer. Be constant in prayer. Not, I'm going to pray when I want stuff. No, it's constant. It's law of assumption. It's law of attraction. It's I am affirmations. It's law of expectation. It's law of correspondence. I pray as if. Not I pray to have something. I already have it. So I must express. See, and the thing is some people have that they don't have. So you have to think of the reverse psychology aspect. So some people have not having. Some people have not having. Or they believe they have not having. And then They have to meditate and be still, be patient, and realize they do have having. They do have having. I have having. I have having. I know it's a little bit weird for some people to understand or overstand or comprehend, but it's about focusing on the good and not focusing on the negative. And a lot of people use their focus to focus on the negative, but they could use their focus to focus on the positive and focus on the focus, which would what? Enhance the focus of focus. Enhance the discipline of discipline. Be a disciple of discipline. Self-discipline is discipleship. All right. Now we are going to get into number 3. 1 Corinthians 13, 4, and 5. Okay. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. Irritable. Irritable, meaning anxious and frustrated. Irritable. Resentful. Holding grudges. And love is patience. The first thing that love is patient. Love is patient. Then it's kind. Okay, so think about it. Think how important patience is as a virtue, and what is fruit. It is, like I said, it's your produce. You have a spirit inside of you. So we're going to take the spirituality as esoteric aspect of this. So your expression, your spirit inside of you, you are expressing, and by the deeds that you do, how you produce your fruit, you will be recognized by that fruit. So expressing what? Patience is good fruit. It's good fruit. Good fruit or bad fruit, but good fruit is patience. Okay? And you only use your bad fruit to feed your good fruit. Any of the bad things that drop off the thing, it will turn into fertilizer to feed the tree. So you have to start to realize, start studying the harvest, start studying nature, start studying, sustainability and building gardens and stuff. Okay? And build a garden. That's how you can start attracting what? Butterflies and all these other different types of things that will help blossom. Butterflies and bees and hummingbirds. And you start to blossom, you start to build things, and then instead of trying to always go outside of yourself, I mean, there's like this divine expression where it's like, don't try to always go to someone else's garden. Instead, plant a garden, and then everyone will come to the garden. And you can also eat from the garden. I wonder what the garden is. The garden, the beginning. 1. You're the one. Okay, stop going outside of yourself to ask for something, which would be 2. You need 2 people to do that. It's here. Okay, so Colossians number 4. Colossians 3, 12 through 13. Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, which is sympathy. Okay? Compassion is sympathy. Same empathy. Having empathy for the same people as you. Okay? Compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bearing with one another, if one another has complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you. The Most High has forgiven the lower aspects of what? This is the temple. This is the Most High of Most Highs. The temple of the temples. The King of Kings. The other kings down here, they're lower kings. This is the King of Kings. Okay? The crown, Chaka. What is the crown? The crown is, or the corona. You guys can figure that one out. Okay? So you must also forgive as the Lord has forgiven you. Forgive each other. Number 5. Galatians 5. Oh, we've already gotten into that one. Galatians 5, 22 to 23. So number 6. Psalms 37, 7 through 8. Be still. Be still. Like I said, patience is the willingness to be still. Be still before the Lord. Beforehand. You have to do it beforehand. You have to be patient beforehand, and then you will be rewarded. Okay? It's a very deep expression. It's very easy to be patient. Okay? Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Wait patiently. Wait patiently for him. Okay? There's all these other bodily things that are going through you. You might have an expression down here. You might have an expression down here. You might have hunger. You might have hormonal aspects. You might have, you might have feelings. You might have words, or you might hear someone else's words. You might hear someone else's thoughts. You might think that you know what other people are thinking about you. Be still and be patient for this, the King of Kings. Okay? There's other kings lower, like I said, in esoteric. This other king's lower, okay, in Solomon's temple, okay. Man after God's own heart. David, also known as Anahata, okay, the Merkaba. I've shown you guys all of this stuff. So the King of Kings, you have to wait patiently for what? Him, okay, or her. But ultimately, I would even say it's just the opposite. It's the opposite of however you're expressing yourself naturally, physically. So meaning like for me, it would be a most high her, meaning that it's Elohim, meaning we. This is the original, okay, in literally the first page of the first column, the first Elohim, gods, meaning man and woman. And that's also the expression of the law of gender. That's the 12th law of the universal laws. Okay? There's a definite intercorrelation between this. And I think we just overread it a little bit. Okay, Elohim. Number 7, Ephesians 4, 1 through 3. I therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, I believe this is Paul speaking. Therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy. Walk in a manner worthy. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Like Morpheus said, like I already said, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So I urge you, therefore, to walk worthy, not unworthy, not to think that you're not worthy. You're 1 in 400 trillion to exist on this planet. You are worthy. Okay? If anything, you are worthy. If anything, you are actually more worthy than unworthy. But you talk yourself and you shame yourself. You shame your sexuality. You shame your feelings. You shame your mindset. You shame your words. What I'm saying is ultimately don't do that. Okay? See, and that's the thing is focus on the good. Don't focus on the bad, which is shame, guilt, fear, anger, pride, resentment, guilt, more guilt. You know? Focus more on the peace, patience, joy, love, light, which is all the expressions of who God literally says is expressing as him or her. For me, it would be a her, capital H. For a woman, it would be a capital him. Because and then you could really start to live for, that's marriage. That's true marriage. The reason why I have such a beautiful physical wife is because of how I am connected to the feminine inside of me. I have healed that trauma. So I represent myself and I have reverence for the divine feminine inside of me. Therefore, I can cultivate that in the expression because there's an impression within me. I therefore, a prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in the manner worthy. Walk worthy of the calling of which you have been called. Meaning that here's the life that you're given. Now walk worthy of the life that you're given. With all humility, okay, all gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager, maintain the unity of the Spirit. So the 9 fruits of the Spirit, walk worthy of in the tri-unity. That's what it really is, which is the Trinity, the 3 in 1. Tri-unity of the 9 fruits of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Okay? Number 8, James 5, 7 through 8. Be patient. First thing, be patient. Okay, which is also the first expression in Colossians 3, which it says love is patient. It's the first thing that love is patient. So be patient, be love, be patient, therefore, brothers, sisters, until the coming of the Lord. This is what is until the coming of the Lord, until the desired outcome is fulfilled. Because God is isness, God is ineffability, God is paradise, pleasure, God is, and not pleasure as in earthly pleasure, meaning pleasing before the Lord, pleasing before God. Okay. And so this is the expression that you have a journey that you're on. You're a hero. Okay. So you're the hero's journey. Now be worthy of the calling that you're called to. And now as you start to cultivate that and you start to live in the expression of it fulfilled, you start to pray as if you are the being rather than pray to beg to be the being. Then you are going to start to live harmoniously. Okay, Be patient. Oh, we're going to get into the fruits right now. Be patient, therefore, brothers and sisters, until the coming of the Lord, until the wish is fulfilled. So that means be patient until it happens. Be patient until the outcome is fulfilled. We already talked about that earlier. Okay? See how the farmer, you're the farmer, you plant the seeds. See how the farmer waits for the produce, the precious fruit of the earth. It's right in front of us. See how the farmer, okay, plants the seeds, the produce, precious fruits of the earth, being patient about it. So not being like, oh, you know what? Like a bamboo tree. If you were to plant a bamboo plant, it's going to be 5 years until it breaks root. But then once it breaks through the ground, it's the fastest growing tree ever. So the farmer waits patiently for that. Bamboo is the strongest, but it's also the most patient. And then eventually what? Because it was the most patient, it's the fastest. It's the fastest. Proving my point. The slower you go, the faster you go. The more patient you are, the quicker you are. Being patient about it, the farmer waits for the precious produce, fruit of the earth, until it receives the early and the late rains. So the first watering and the last watering. And you can even think in terms of the moon. So there's crescent moon, and then which is a slightly filled cup. It's like 3 ounces. Okay. It's like 2 ounces. Okay. Now a full moon is what? Like 12 ounces. And you have an 8 cup. So it's overflowing. It's an overflowing cup. You could see the differentiation. What does that govern? It governs the waves. It governs the moon. It governs the waters. It governs the feminine. It governs the fluid. It governs the flow of life. Okay. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. Meaning it's already amidst you. It's already in you that the coming of the... This is literally preserving the sacred secretion. Meaning that like a lot of people are like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to preserve the Christ oil? Well, the oil is always being made in you. And what you do and what you don't do is important to preserve that oil. Okay, so if you are living a more acidic life, if you're living a catabolic life... Okay. If you're living an acidic life, if you're living a catabolic life, okay, and if you're living a negative androgenic hormonal life, those are the aspects that will affect that fruit. It will cause destruction to the Christ oil. Okay, and so therefore, by doing things that are anabolic, androgenic, and alkaline, that will actually keep the purity within the body. To preserve which would not be drinking, not be smoking, which would be not overeating, which would be temperance, which would be so many different things, okay? Number 9, may the God of endurance and encourage in my mind. Courage in my mind. That's what encouragement means. See, it's not okay, we're going to keep going. Grant you to live in such harmony with one another, in accord with Christ, the Christed Jesus, the Christed one, that together you may with one voice glorify the God and Father of the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so that is a very big thing. I also say Yeshua Christ, because that's really what I go by, which is the Hebraic, the Paleo-Hebraic aspect of it. Okay, number 10, Galatians 6:9, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season, meaning that patience has seasons. There are times, look at, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. There is times to sow and there's times to reap. There are times to plant seeds and there's times to water seeds, and then there's times to reap the harvest and to cultivate the harvest. Okay, I'm getting into that point where I've watered a lot of seeds, I planted a lot of the seeds, and now I'm getting into that blossoming aspect and then receiving and reaping the harvest. Okay, and so that's patience. Number 11, Hebrew Hebrews 4:15 through 16. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Wow. That is powerful. Number 12. Philippians 4:4 through 7. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone, meaning you must be reasonable. Okay? The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything. Anxious. So if you're anxious, you're chaotic. It's not patience. It's always worrying or thinking that being patient's like, oh, everything's under control. Everything's chilling. Anxious is like, I need everything under control. You see like that imply? Like, it's like, well, everything's already under control, you know? So you have to like think of it from that perspective. Think of it from a very chill, stoic perspective. Okay? The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything be in prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be known to God. Let your requests be made known to God. Be made known to God. Wow, that's powerful. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding or overstanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Yeshua Christos, in Christ Yeshua, in the Christed Yeshua. Number 13, wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. It says it twice. So be patient. Be patient. Be strong. The more patient you are, the stronger you are. Let your heart take courage. So strength and courage are byproducts of patience. There's so many cultivations of patience. I'm going to have this conclude because this is a very powerful one. And I'm actually posting this video publicly. So I want you to really see that patience too is not always having to add things to your life, but being discerning. Ultimately, patience can be discerning. Meaning like, oh, I don't know. No, I don't think that's for me. No, I don't think that's for me. Oh, I know this is for me because I've been patiently waiting for this type of harvest. Okay, for this type of fruit, for this type of produce. So patience is a fruit of the Spirit. And ultimately, we are recognized by our fruits, by the expression of what we are trees and we are bearing fruits. We are recognized by our fruits, by our deeds. Okay, we're not saved by these fruits or by these deeds, but we are seen and recognized by them. So that's a very big thing. Peace, much love, namaste. Talk to you guys soon. I love each and every one of you guys. I will see you in the next one.